Remembered forever. A son's story. Ernie set off down Park Drive, heading for the smithy. There were not so many horses now the war was over, but he still had to look out for chickens escaped from the yard, and sometimes there was a policeman around. He pedalled hard until he could see the smoke from the smithy fire. Mr. Clay looked up as he rode into the yard. "Hello, young Ernie. You got a bike now, I see." He smiled down on the small boy, and Ernie felt warm inside, knowing Abraham the blacksmith was his friend. "Yes, Mummy's been saving up, and she says Mr. Bassett helped. I always get a present on the day when my daddy went to heaven, so as we all remember him." "That's a grand idea. I knew your daddy very well. Is that Mr. Joe Bassett that your daddy worked for?" "Yes, that's right. Mummy says he's a good sort. My daddy was on a steamroller, you know." Ernie stepped down from his tricycle and stood tall next to Abraham's anvil. "Are you learning to read at school now, Ernie?" "I am. Mummy takes me to school on her way to work at Mr. Wenger's. I know all the letters now, and I can write my name too. Champion. That means when they finish the new memorial, you'll be able to read your daddy's name on there. Now I must get on with this bench for the vicar." Abraham went back to what he was doing, and after a few minutes practising his counting on the chickens over the road, Ernie headed back to look for Grandad Bert in the slaughterhouse. "Grandad, Mr. Clay told me my daddy's name will be on a memorial. What's a memorial, please, Grandad?" Bert Challoner paused, knife in hand, and pondered his answer. "Well, Mr. Clay is right. Do you remember that time in the summer we all went to the gardens and had a boat ride?" Ernie cast his mind back to their family picnic on a beautiful sunny day. "Yes, Nanny made cake, and we ate sandwiches on a blanket by the lake." "Was that your wedding day, Grandad?" Bert laughed. "Well done, young man. Not quite. That was our anniversary. 39 years I've been with your Nanny Mary. Now that picnic day is a memory, something we can remember and treasure forever. The memorial will be a way to remember all the men, like your daddy, who went off to fight the Germans for us and didn't come home. Now you've learned to read, you will be able to find his name on the new memorial, carved in stone forever." Ernie waited until bedtime to raise this with his mother. "Mummy, Grandad told me about Daddy's name being a forever memory. Can we go and see it on the new stone, please?" Florrie paused. Ernie looked so like his father. Same curly hair, same sparkling eyes. She felt so blessed to have him. Part of her will was still here. She hugged Ernie to her as the tears began to flow. "Of course, my darling. We can go early to school next Monday and look at the memorial. See if we can find your daddy's name." So the next Monday, September the 12th, Florrie Challoner and young Ernie made their way together, as usual, from Park Cottage, parked Ernie's tricycle at the slaughterhouse, and then walked up Park Drive towards the mausoleum. Remember, your daddy's whole name was William, so it will say William Challoner. Florrie gripped her son's hand as they crossed the road and approached the memorial with excitement as well as some anxiety. "I know what William looks like," said Ernie confidently, "and Challoner starts with a ch, like chickens. Florrie called out excitedly, "There he is, fourth one down, next to Mr. Force." Ernie climbed the steps and counted the names. 1, 2, 3, 4. William Challoner. That's my daddy. Is Mr. Force Ian's daddy? They stood for a minute, reading all the words carved in stone, and Florrie touched each name as she remembered the men. All too soon, it was time for school. "Come now, darling, I have to get to work, and your teacher will be taking the register. You need to be there when he calls out Ernest Challoner." It was a proud and thoughtful Ernie who arrived at school that day, bursting to tell all his friends that his daddy would be remembered forever.